What's up, Sparkman family? It's your boy Sparkman, and welcome back to another Market Watch. Today, we're going to be talking about cards you should be selling right now before it's absolutely too late. And first up on the docket is, yes, Harpy's Feather Duster, because the promos from the early collection video game is, well, exceeding expectations. The fact that it's holding this price tag is beyond me. When we talk about supply and demand, there's a lot of supply of it. And I guess there's a lot of demand, yes, I understand that. But economically, it should not be holding this price tag. I understand QCRs are ending, I understand it's a fan favorite card, but at the same time, keep in mind, everybody, this card is being given out to everybody for basically free with buying the video game, right? Now, I know you can get one or the other promo, but given the fact that, again, there's really not been a sense of like one's more, higher chance to get, there has been none of those things. So I just don't see as the reason why it's holding such a big price tag, at least for both of them. Very crazy stuff. I very much will be telling you to sell them right now for this price tag, because you most likely will be able to buy it back both for what you're selling it right now at this price tag at $50. I mean, this is insane that it's even this price. I'm not gonna lie to everybody. I understand market price for at least for the alternate artworks at $40, but it's still not a $40 card. Like it's really not. Basically what you've been telling me is that you're buying this video game and you're already making a profit, because as soon as you get the card pays for the game, and then you still have the game, which again, it's insane. I don't think this is anywhere near the price it should be, but we'll see. If it does go up higher, oh my goodness, maybe I should retire from this, but I don't think that'll be the case, and I really do think it'll start to decrease drastically, not a little bit, drastically. So definitely sell while you can, especially while it's high in price right now. Given the fact also that modern day video game promos have never been selling for that price. I get that it's a QCR, but modern day promos for itself have never done really that well, and really anywhere that high that this is holding. So keep all that in mind as well. Now, Dominus Impulse from Rage of the Abyss. Now, we are in reprint season, basically, right? Stampede's coming up. The tins are not too far off. We have a lot of sets that are doing a lot of reprints. We've seen Konami a little bit more willing to do reprints at a faster pace, and make things accessible at a faster pace. And I think there's a lot of reasons as to why they're doing so. And you're going to see a lot of cards on this list, and you'll be like, are you sure? I'm more or less sure that it's probably going to happen. Now, if it doesn't, it'll probably be something later down the line in, end of year, but it'll definitely get itself reprinted sooner rather than later, right? And the reason is because a lot of people are coming back into the game, right? Blue Eyes helped with that a lot. But then there's also formats, right? We have HAP format now, Edison, GOAT. There's a lot of things people are joining back the game for, because, again, there's locals making those tournaments available to them. Then we have a lot of players that are new, just absolutely new to the game, right? We have old players come back, but absolutely new to the game as well. Because, again, we're having Konami start to reach out to celebrities, right? We had Zane, for example, come talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit during that whole event. And again, he brought some people from his fan base over learning about Yu-Gi-Oh! And he does do consistent posts about Yu-Gi-Oh! On his Instagram as well. So you're seeing people start to kind of inch their way into the game little by little. Learn about it, see what it's all about. So you're having people start to get interest here. So Konami seeing all this happening and seeing the influx of players back into the game and new players coming to the game, they are going to try to make things a little bit more accessible to the audience, so this way they can actually start playing the game. Now, can they go back to old habits? They surely can. But at least for this year, from what I've been noticing, I think a lot of people have been noticing as well, the communication and the reprints, how fast they've been coming, I don't think that we're going to see these cards, be held off at a long time. We're going to see them more or less brought to us a little quicker. Dominus Impulse is definitely one of them. This one's a high price card, and we've seen the prices pretty much go high and start to dip a little bit here, but the reason why so is, again, it's reprint season. We're going to see a lot of cards start to dip. Prime Lordy Load, we know this one's getting reprinted. Expect this one to start dipping pretty heavily. I would definitely sell if I were you. It's definitely taken a big dip from once it was once out, right? $70. It's at 50 now. It's probably going to keep dipping. So definitely sell if I were you. Now, this card, Lancia, is probably going to, get reprinted as well. It's not a high price card, but it's still a $10 card. If you have it in your binder, if you have it in your collection, these are type of cards that you definitely should try to sell off, because again, they're most likely going to get reprinted into maybe a super or ultra. You know, these things are probably going to happen, and then the card just ends up being like $1 or $2. And you don't want that to happen. So you might as well make some money while you can. That's why we have these videos. Myself, a lot of Market Watch people, we have these videos to help you, the community, so you can make a profit, so you can buy into other things. Red Lowe's King Flame Crime is another one. Obviously, the card has increased a little bit, right, from 7 to 10 basically, but it's another card that's another $10 card that probably will get reprinted, and then you'll lose out money if it gets reprinted. So don't wait too long. Okay, Dragon, Master Magia, however you call it, the QCR. Obviously, I've talked about this a lot. It most likely will get reprinted into an ultra, a secret. It'll be accessible, right? However, keep in mind, I do think this one will get reprinted into a Starlight Rare as well. So the diminishing value of this will start to decrease very, very soon. And I really don't think that holding on to it is going to benefit you or anyone, honestly. Now, you can always rebuy back for much cheaper, everybody, much cheaper. It doesn't make sense holding on to this one. You're doing yourself a disservice. Yes, right now, the only listing, it seems right here, is $1,000 basically for it. So it's been bought out yet again, right? That's basically what I'm seeing, is it's been bought out at this point. Whew, someone paid $1,100 for it. Good God. Yeah, I would sell if I were you. Again, I see Konami reprinting this, especially reprinting into a Starlight Rare and all those fun stuff. I wouldn't take the risk in buying it. I really, really wouldn't. I think you're doing yourself a disservice in getting this one. If you're holding on to it, again, you can rebuy it back, everybody. Do not hold on to it. That's just my personal take, my personal opinion. But do with that what you will. But like I said, Konami has been making things more accessible, especially since Blue Eyes is getting all this hype. Why wouldn't they make this more available to the audience? But also, considering the fact that the Starlight Rares are coming back, they probably will reprint this into that rarity too. So, you know, don't do yourself a disservice in this price. Get your money, get what it's worth right now, and then, you know, buy into it later. The next card we're looking at, everybody, is Super Star Slayer Typhoon Sky Crisis. Oh my goodness, that name always stumps me. I swear to God. But talking about this card, it has definitely done well for itself, especially after its reprint, right? So this card was already expensive originally in Age of Overlord, which is an amazing set. Got reprinted, was at $10, $12, and then tripled in value over time, now at $30+. Now, here's what I'll say. I don't think it's going to be in this year's tints, considering the fact that it was in last year's tints. It could be a Stampede now. However, if it's not in Stampede, then it becomes a mystery as to where this gets placed. And with Konami, they also need to not reprint everything into two major sets, that being the tins and that being Stampede, because they need to spread out the value of certain things. And with Super Star Slayer having value yet again in itself, they could place this in a later set down the year. So there's that as well. Now, going back to what I said as well, that they want to make things more accessible, at the same time, they did technically make this accessible by already having it to reprint. So in terms, they did do their part. Now, what they can do, again, like I said, is reprint this, but in a later set, so that way they give value to another set. So that's probably what they're going to do. I don't think this is going to be a Stampede, but I could be wrong, and they could reprint it there. But here's my thought. Why reprint a bunch of things into Stampede? That set is already going to do well for itself, right? Nostalgia, all those things. We've seen how well Bonanza was portrayed and how well it's done for itself. Stampede is already getting that hype, that hoopla. People have already pre-ordered a bunch of cases for this. Konami understands their market, they understand the community, they watch these videos, they understand that people are very excited for Stampede, and they're probably going to spread out the love and other things. So that's why I think Super Star Slayer, Crimson Dragon, all these types of cards in the tins that bounce back in value, probably spread out in something else down the line, probably at the end of the year, maybe early next year. So those are things to consider. But if I were you, and if you are looking to try to move this at this price tag, especially if you bought it for $12, I would definitely, sell this one personally. But it's up to you what you want to do with it. But at that price tag, if you did buy it for that, I would sell right now if I were you. Fiendsmith Engraver. Okay, so this one is something to talk about because we also are in banlist season, everybody. So there's a lot of stuff happening as well, right? we are in the fear of the ban list coming out very soon, and a lot of people have Fiendsmith Engraver on their list, right? Their prediction list. So this is one of the cards where people are a little bit scared, a little bit frightful that it might get hit in some regard, whether it be banned or limited or whatever it happens to it. People are a little nervous. So, you know, there's every right to be nervous, right? It's a great card. And it was at $90 only a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, but then dropped back down in value again. And because of that fear. So I probably would sell because I almost feel like it probably will get touched on the ban list myself. So I can't tell you otherwise because I had that fear for this card as well. Dominus Purge is another Dominus card, has increased itself in value. Another card I highly recommend to try sell as quickly as possible because I do think this one, whether it be the Tins or Stampede, it probably will see its face in one of those products. Fiendsmith Track is another card that is fearful to be on the ban list as well. If you have this card laying around, you saw the dip in value, right? It was at 28. It's definitely gone down a lot in value. I think it probably will go down more because I do believe it probably will be on the ban list. Now, if I'm wrong, again, Engraver and Track will probably go up. But why take that chance? Sell now while it's worth something at least before you lose out on a lot. Ancient Force, an older card from Ancient Prophecy, never got reprinted. So its value's been up, right? And it's a pretty decent card as well. So keep that in mind as well. The Near Mint Unlimited, it goes for 19. You can only imagine what the first edition goes for. But this is another card that could be in Stampede as a nostalgia card. So just be aware of that as well. You know, a lot of reprints are happening right now. And, you know, with Stampede especially, there's going to be so much in that. So there's every right to be fearful of this one being in there. As well as Iron Chain Dragon. It's another card that never got reprinted. A lot of people suspect that this one could be in a product coming up in the future. And I feel like Stampede could be one of those as well. Now, Terraforming is another card that people suspect to be on the ban list as well and getting banned. And we've seen what happened in the past with QCRs where a card has been banned and the price just goes all the way down. So, with Terraforming having that fear right now in terms of getting banned, I personally would tell you to sell, right? It's a very ballsy thing to tell you to do, and especially with a card so high in price. But you can always buy it back, right? The price isn't going to go crazy up just because this one doesn't get banned, right? So if I were you, I would definitely sell, but that's just my recommendation. Again, you can take with the information what you will, but given the fact that, again, ban lists have really destroyed QCR pricing, once a card gets banned, I just wouldn't take the chance, right? You can always buy it back, but do with the information what you will. The Black Goat Last is another card to be aware of. It's getting reprinted as well, and a card that will definitely go down if it does get reprinted. So definitely sell off while you can. It's definitely at its peak price point right now, as you can see. So don't wait too long if I were you. The next thing we're looking at, everybody, is the Bestial package, and I hate to say it because I have this on my list as well. A lot of people have them on their list, but the Bestial package most likely will get interrupted in the next ban list. Some way, some fashion, whether it be limited, banned, whatever it is, it's definitely going to get interrupted. And these price tags, at least for a lot of these things, are something to consider start to sell off. Again, if it doesn't get touched, if it really doesn't get interfered with, you can always rebuy it back, but it's something to consider, especially at the price tag it is now, because it's pretty high. You don't want to get, mistaken that something gets banned, something gets limited, and then you miss out on such a high price tag it is now, right? So there's that to consider as well. Soundgrade Raging Phoenix is another card to consider start selling because it probably will get reprinted as well. It's one of the cards that actually did well for itself in Soulborn Volcano from the Legendary Duelist set. Very few cards do well from these Legendary Duelist sets, as I've seen for myself. But the ones that do well, they probably get reprinted within a year or two time, and then it probably will decrease. So this is one of those cards where I definitely would consider start to sell, but we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. But here's the thing. The Duels from the Deep set has been out for quite a bit, to be honest with you. Quite a few years, and we still haven't gotten a reprint of 7th Ascension. I do think that will change very, very soon, considering the fact that we're getting support for a lot of the Tachyon stuff. So again, I would recommend selling it, at least for the price tag it is right now, because I do think that they'll probably reprint this very, very soon. And when it gets reprinted, we're probably going to see the price for this decrease. We have been seeing the actual set itself, the Legendary Duels from the Deep, increase to 30 for market price, which is, not a lot, but considering the fact this was like a $20 booster box and increased to $10 because of this card, it's saying a lot, right? The last card we're looking at in today's Market Watch is Evil Hero Adjusted Gold. It is insanely high for what this card is worth right now. If you're not using it, I would definitely sell it. But given that if it gets a reprint, the prices for all of these will probably slash pretty quickly. But again, it's just one of those cards, again, if you're not using it, sell it, man. I don't think it's going to go any higher, to be honest with you. It's gotten to a pretty high price tag as is. But yeah, that's about it for today's Market Watch. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments down below what you thought about today's Market Watch. What you think will get banned? What cards we missed? Anything like that. Let me know what you think. But from your Sparkman, we'll catch you next one. Please subscribe, comment, and peace out, YouTube.